Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother***ing ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer Podcast. I am Dan Ryan and joining me tonight is Start Engine Success Story, also Dan Ryan.
Ew. What the fuck is a start engine? It's a dumb
you were
name.
a massive success, sir.
I was.
Massive.
28,000 rubles.
At least. It is time for another Stone Age starter kit, theoretically. This time centered around the 32X. It's going to be a short one, ladies and gentlemen. But that's okay, because apparently we have lots to talk about in the top half. Create your Tower of Power, because the Stone Age Gamer Podcast starts now.
That was an inside joke.
The Tower of Power? Yeah, we're talking about the 32X. Get it?
I
get
do.
it?
I do. I know. I get it. You have a lot of them.
Just what's this whole 32X thing? Hi, everyone. This is episode 401. It's the week of March 11th, 2022. What's up?
Are you sure? What's up? How you doing? That's right. After 400 episodes, we just phone this shit in from now on.
That's right.
After the fucking gem of an episode you got last week.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get that good again. I'm just kidding. No. You are, because we're gonna do 4 trivia episodes this year. My freaking goal. I haven't penciled in. I'm gonna make that stuff happen. Trivia episodes are good. I even have some thoughts on who to have next time around. I'm excited. I'm excited.
I know. Shigeru Miyamoto is gonna be on the next one. It's out. I can't believe you got him.
Cat's out of the bag.
That's right. That's right. Tell your friends.
Cat's out of the bag. Shiggy's coming to SAG.
You got jokes. That was fun. Liked it.
Dan, I don't have anything else.
That's it. I'm done. Good night, everybody. I know it's a 32X. What you want to go with some more jokes? I got. What do you call a cheap circumcision?
I don't know, the half-off sale?
A rip-off.
Yikes. That one hurt to laugh at.
Oh, my goodness.
Dan, do you know anything about gutters?
A little bit. There are those things on the side of the house, right? Or are we talking comic book gutters? Which ones?
No. The things on the side of the house.
Yeah.
I have this problem. And I've been fighting with my solar company about this for a while. So I got solar panels in a while back. And
so bougie.
When
I've been fighting with my solar company, has known her.
Well, the solar panels come from a place of being poor. So we bought the house.
Yeah, I know, right?
And we bought the house, and the roof was always kind of a problem. The guy was like, all right, so the insulation that they put up here in between the rafters and the roof, this whole room isn't done right, so this just trapped moisture in here. Well, look at this. And he poked a finger in my roof with his finger. It's like, I shouldn't be able to do this. This is bad.
No, it's not what you want.
You take all this stuff out, let it dry out. Might last you a couple of years, but you're going to need a new roof. Eventually, the roof started to leak, so we started looking into, well, how the hell are we going to do this? Roofs are very expensive.
Very expensive. It doesn't seem like it should be. It doesn't seem like it should be cheap, but not as expensive as it is.
So we found this an ad for a solar company that was just like, hey, get solar, need a new roof? We got you covered. I was like,
we'll
bullshit.
Do that.
Bullshit. You don't have me covered. There's got to be a catch. So we started talking to this company and like, no, there's no catch. We're going to, this is how it all gets paid for, because this is a big roof job and a big tree removal job to make the solar work. It's going to be this much money as opposed to this much money, but you're still coming out ahead. And they were not wrong. On our end, they were pretty wrong on their end as far as how much it was going to cost, but they honored the price that they gave us.
That's awesome.
So, they sent some guys out to do the roof, and they started doing the roof, and they were like, so I got to go and come back because we need to do the whole roof. We thought we were just going to do this section here, and it was going to be fine, but it's not. So we'll be back, and they didn't charge me any extra for it. It was a much bigger job. But they didn't charge me any. Same thing with the trees. Trees was a massive, massive job. And the guy couldn't find a tree company to do it for anywhere near the price that he quoted us at. And I was asking what was taking so long, and he was like, look, I'm going to be straight with you here. You're going to get it for that price. I just can't find anybody to do it yet because I really underestimated how much work needed to be done. Like, there were trees growing in between electrical wires and stuff.
Oh, no. Trees are a massive problem.
Yeah, that's...
Like, at all times. Nobody has a story of like, so I had to get a tree out, and they came out and just did it. And it was great, and there were no problems whatsoever.
Yeah, that is not the way that rolls.
No.
So years later, actually no, the year we got the solar panels, it snowed, and snow melts off of solar panels different than it does just regular roof because they're these big smooth surfaces. So it just whoosh slides off in these big solar panel sized chunks of ice, and it knocked the gutter out of the side of my house.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that sucks. I'm going to chalk that up to this is a weird thing that happened, and if it happens again, I'll contact the solar company. So I just popped the gutter back in place. No big deal. And then it didn't snow for 2 years.
Little duct tape?
They didn't even need the duct tape. Just popped it back in place.
Little Gorilla Glue. You'll be good to go.
So it didn't snow for 2 years. Then it snowed again last year, but not really enough to cause a big damage except for once. There was one snow where a big chunk came down, knocked the gutter again. And I was like, this is going to happen again. So I'm going to call them before the next snow. So I did. And I was like, this is going to happen again. And they said, all right, we'll have somebody come out and look at it. They never sent somebody to come out and look at it. And this time it actually ripped the gutter out of the side of the house. And I was like, well, this is a problem. And the solar company needs to pay for it because, the snow isn't damaging my house. This was never a problem before the solar panels. The solar panels are what's causing the problem. So I try to get them to send somebody out and take a look at the problem and understand that this isn't something I'm doing wrong. This is something I understand that the snow is not damaging your solar panels, so it's not covered under the regular solar panel warranty, but your panels are damaging my house.
Right.
So,
which is now an issue.
Finally got somebody to come out today, and he starts talking to me about all the price that it's going to cost. And I'm like, no, that's not what we discussed. Nobody said, when I spoke to your company, they said that they were handling this, and this is what they were going to do. They were going to put the snow guards or whatever on. And the guy was just like, look, I'm just the messenger, all right? I'll tell you right now.
That's fair.
Snow guards are a waste of money. My money, your money, doesn't matter. They're a scam. They're an extra thing that they sell people with solar panels. They don't solve the problem. They don't solve the problem at all. Like, okay. He said, this is what your problem is. Gets up on the ladder, and he's like, snowfall shouldn't knock gutters off of your house. Gutters are supposed to be able to handle that kind of thing. All this wood here that the gutters are nailed into is fucking rotted.
Wonderful.
And I looked at it with my own eyes, and he was 100% right. He's like, you see this nail? I can't get this back into the wood because, see, it slides right back out. Like, well, that's a problem. And wouldn't it have been great if somebody came out to look at this fucking year ago? But,
yeah, right?
So my current situation is that he kind of popped it back in place to the best of his ability.
Sure.
Because, he's not charging me anything, and he's got probably just a contractor who's probably not going to get paid for much of anything if he comes out there and doesn't do any work that he can bill anyone for. So he just...
Yeah, no, he's just a guy.
He's just a guy. He came out, he did his thing, he got the fuck out of Dodge, which I was a little pissed off about because he said he was going to get me a quote for the gutter repair. And he was like, all right, I'll finish up here and I'll get you the quote. And then, like, I went outside a few minutes later, he was just gone. So, all right. I guess that's how that's rolling. But now I got to figure out I got to find the right route to go to figure out gutters. Now, what's happening right there is not an absolute emergency. Because the guy was like, it's just this wood that's rotted. Because when Orbit redid the entire roof, that shit's all new. So that's fine. But this board that holds your gutter in places, this that goes around the house, is toast. So I got to get new gutters and soffits and the whole 9 yards. And I have no idea how I'm going to pay for that because I'm still trying to come back from the bathroom. Like, we're still in humongous dire straits for that. So theoretically, we have at least a year before there's a problem again, right?
I can't imagine it's going to snow again. But dude, it's going to be so we're recording on Monday. There was a high of 80 degrees today.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 45 degrees on Tuesday. So
That's not it's not enough degrees.
It's not, but I don't know that it's not going to snow in June at this point. That is true. I'm not 100% but theoretically you should be good till November.
Even if it, exactly. Because even if it snows, we're probably not going to get enough snow to cause an actual problem. Because in order for these giant chunks to slide off the roof, it's got to be like more than 6 inches of snow.
Yeah.
And we've had that twice this year, and the giant chunks have hit the gutter exactly twice this year. Once for each massive over 6 inches of snow. So,
can you not, when it snows like that, can you not just put John up there and have him hold the gutters?
He's not tall enough yet.
Oh, okay. What if Ellie stands on John's shoulders?
Problem solved. Actually, what the guy recommended was something called a roof rake. He's like, you just get this super long thing, and only when it snows to a crazy degree, you just get this gigantic pole out and just kind of scrape some shit off your roof. And that is safer and better for all of your stuff than any expensive thing that they will tell you. Now, obviously, it's work, but anything that you're going to buy using the roof rake is just a better plan. It's cheaper and it's more effective. So I guess I'm going to be investing in one of those things, but seriously, homeownership can go jump in a fucking lake.
Oh, I know. It sucks, man. It sucks. And it makes you look at that, because the whole time you're telling this story, I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, I'll come over and like knock some boards into the side of your house and put the gutters into that. Might not look pretty, but it'll be up there.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, all right, well,
I got a ladder. I got a really nice ladder. I'll bring the really nice ladder.
You can bring a nice ladder. We can get the wood and just kind of do it ourselves. But it seems like I need a radial arm saw. I don't know what I'm doing. If I don't really know what I'm doing, maybe I shouldn't be doing it.
I mean, probably not. But has that ever stopped a red-blooded American male from doing some shit?
This is how we wound up with the chimney that was pulling away from the house when we bought the house. Because some dude thought, you know what? I can fix this. I can fix this. You can't fucking fix it. They had to rebuild the top half of the chimney.
I know.
It seems like the kind of thing I don't want to change. Like, I fixed my fridge door over the weekend.
That's something.
That was very something. I was very proud of that one. I was sure that these little this fridge we bought has just been crumbling since the 1-year warranty ran off. Like,
of course.
As soon as that warranty ran off, the wheels on the produce drawer, like, they didn't just pop out. The plastic that holds them in place has just crumbled. And like, they still work.
Modern appliances are shit.
Seriously, the fuck?
They suck.
And then like the little shim thing that kind of folds in when you close the doors, because it's the side-by-side doors. That little thing has these two knobs, one on top, one on bottom, and another one in the middle. And the one on the top busted, and then the one on the bottom busted because the one on the top was gone, so everything was going crooked. Then it was just being held together with the one in the middle. It's like, well, this just doesn't work. And I can't take this off because then the fridge door doesn't actually close. That is what creates the seal that prevents the door from letting air out. So I kept the little pieces that broke out, and like, I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner. I'm looking at like, I don't even know how to fix this, because I was just looking at it the way they were originally fastened. They're fastened to the inside of the door. Like, there's this notch inside the door that these go inside. And they seemed to have just been glued into the insulation that's inside of the door. And it's just like, you just glued to foam. That's not strong.
No.
What exactly? What was
foam
this
is quite weak.
To? Yeah, what was this connected to that was going to last long term? And then for some reason, it just popped in my head after I called the repair guy and was like, "Yeah, we're probably gonna have to order the part. It's gonna be like, like $300 or $400." I'm like, "Fuck you!
Fuck you!
These two little plastic ding dongs? No, sir." And so I looked at it and said, well, fuck it, why don't I just glue these back, like glue the plastic part on? Like, instead of gluing it back where it was originally fastened, I'm just going to use the flat surface and glue all around that. And so I did. It works like a charm.
See?
Felt like a fucking boss. And I got to reorganize Karen's office. Oh my God, this was the highlight of my weekend. I love organizing shit so much. And Karen's closet was just this absolute disaster zone. And it wasn't entirely her fault. Like, she's not a nut for organization the way that I am, right? I'm an organization nut. I love this shit. And she is not.
Her office is partly a dumping ground as well, I assume?
It was partly a dumping ground when we moved in. And
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
And then it was the craft room before it became her office when she had to start working from home.
Right.
So we turned the part of the basement in, because it's a larger space, the basement became the craft area. And then she took over the office, but there was all these remnants from when it was the craft room. And then she has all of her stitching stuff that's constantly in flux that she hadn't really figured out a system for. And because she is related to her mother, she has an obscene amount of wrapping materials. I mean, just the amount of gift bags and gift wrap and tissue paper is...
you never know.
You never know. I felt super proud of this one, right? So when we started... When we moved in and we started figuring out the how we were going to do the tissue paper, I bought this little thing of drawers that fits right into the closet. And I thought, all right, you can take, this box can hold the boxes. And then these two drawers can hold the different sized bags. The top drawer can do tissue paper. And then these two bins that sit on top of it can do bows and other things. Right? So that all kind of worked, except it continued to expand. Then it just became this overflow of crazy amounts of wrapping stuff. And so she wanted to move the coffee maker into her office so she wouldn't have to come downstairs to get coffee in the morning, which I thought was kind of a genius plan. And she's like, but I got to look into trying to find a mini fridge so I can keep cream up there. I was like, no, we have a mini fridge. I can make this shit happen. So we got like a $20 bookshelf from Target, and that holds the coffee maker. And then I took all this random stuff out of the corner and I put the mini fridge there in the corner and got it all cleaned up and got it all plugged in. And now she has this coffee bar in the corner. And then I just kind of moved around the rest of the room figuring out how are we going to take care of this shit. I took out all the extra stuff out of the closet. And when it came to the gift wrap, that was what was stumping me. And then I had this brilliant moment. This is a closet. This is a coat closet. It's like 4 million hangers in here. I'm going to hang up the gift bags on hangers. It was genius. It worked so well.
Brilliant.
So I got like 3 hangers worth of Christmas bags, and then like Valentine's bags and baby bags and birthday bags and random kid related bags and just other pretty bags. And they're all on these coat hangers, and they just hang up, and you can move them back and forth and take out the ones you want. You can see where all the bags are. You don't have to worry about them being in drawers. They don't fit anymore. Felt like a genius.
Well, that's fucking dope.
That was, oh man, this weekend, solving the fridge thing, solving my X-Men poster. I have this old-ass X-Men poster that I got at Toys R Us in like the 80s. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I can't remember the artist now. It's driving me crazy. It's across the room. I can't see it, but I took a picture of it recently. Who's the artist? Because this is something that you'll appreciate because you know artist names. It is... it's Art Adams. Art Adams.
Oh, yeah. It's a gigantic name.
Yeah, and I knew it. I just couldn't remember. It's this awesome 80s Art Adams X-Men poster that I've loved. I had it in my room when I was a kid, and it got all crumpled up and thrown into the attic for a long time, so I never wanted to get rid of it because I always loved this image. And eventually I framed it when I was living up in North Jersey. I just put it in one of those regular frames because the corners were all like chewed up. It looks really awesome in the frame, like it's this vintage thing, because it's actually a vintage thing, which is super, super cool. And I finally found a place for it. It's been rattling around different homes and whatnot for years. I finally found a place for it in my basement. It's on the basement door that goes into my crazy little closet area.
Yeah.
I was like, but how do I get this framed poster to stick to a door? And I tried using these command hooks that are like, yeah, these will hold this much weight. It's like, all right. So it stayed up there for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And then it just fell down the other day. I was like, fuck.
Those things suck.
That's just not going to work. And then I went to the hardware store and I found mirror hangers. Those little things you screw in that have a little plastic lip on them. Boom. Hung it back up. Now my X-Men poster is on that door and it's never going anywhere. I solved the X-Men poster. I fixed the fridge. Did a bunch of shit in the garage. I fixed Karen's office. I felt like a champ. And then today the gutters were like, well, these are going to cost you all the money. So all that forward progress you were feeling right there, like your shit's getting together? No. As soon as you solve this monetary problem, you're going right back in debt.
Right back in debt, where you belong. That's right. Try to have nice things? How dare you?
I just want my house to not be falling apart.
Fucking
bathroom is so expensive.
I know.
There's so much other stuff I want to fix. There's so much other stuff I want to fix. And like, it's just never going to happen.
That's kind of the thing, though. Like, you're there for a while, doesn't have to be done today.
Yeah, at least the gutter thing is like the bathroom needed to be done because we remember for months we were showering at my mom's house because we didn't have a functioning bathroom upstairs.
Well, you could have done it outside. I'm just saying. You'd have been all right. Give the neighbors a little show. Like, it's fine.
They got kids. I don't want to do that to them.
Just let them know. All right, so guys, between like 9:30 and 9:48, my dick is going to be out. So, like, just, plan appropriately.
This is my warning. Please don't call the police.
No, I told you. I let you know. So you can't be mad now. That's how that works, right? I told you what was going to happen, and now you have to just deal with my penis being just on display in my backyard. It's my backyard.
That is exactly how it works.
That's right. You communist prick. How dare you? Why are you peeking over my fence anyway?
There's still a giant hole in my fence.
I know. Giant penis-shaped hole. Where I was going with this whole thing. No, it's... man. So I'm sitting out here in the office, and like, as you're talking about the home improvement, we've been thinking about expanding the Jose Canseco Executive Annex. Because it's weird, like, to get into my office, because my office is just a room at the back of the garage, right?
Yeah.
And they put up a wall, like, it's as far back in the garage as it can be, while still creating a room, but also being able to park a car in the garage, right? Mm-hmm. I don't park my car in the garage.
Yeah,
it's not a thing. Either. It's not a thing I'm ever going to do. It's just, I spent most of my life not parking a car in the garage. I've never had a garage until now. It's just not a thing I'm going to do. I don't care.
The garage is so much more useful as a space if there's no car in it.
100%. I put a car in here. I can't put all this other shit in here. Where's all this other shit going to go? There's so much of it. It's crazy.
I've got driveways for cars. They're waterproof.
Right.
The fuck do I care?
It'll be fine. I don't care. Oh, but... I know, like I was talking to my aunt when I was buying the house, and she was like, well, you're going to have to scrape the ice off the windows. I said, like I've been doing for the last 38 years. Yeah, no
that's
shit.
That's what I bought the $5 ice scraper for.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
What I got it for. Oh, $5 ice scraper. I bought the $8 plug into the fucking lighter slot that no cars have anymore. Thing that I had one when I first started driving. Yes, it does. It's just a big mouth.
I've never heard of that.
No, yeah, it was a. It sounded like you said "eat it," which is where I was
heated.
Going. No, it is. It was heated. It was like
That's
a fucking
awesome.
It was like a metal bar, and then there was like a rubber piece on the other side of it, and it would heat the rubber up, and you just fucking. Oh, it was awesome.
It's a great ice scraping lightsaber. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was outstanding. But now cars don't fucking have cigarette lighters anymore because cigarettes are bad apparently. Which I wish somebody would have told me that when I was 16. Anyway.
Why did nobody tell me cigarettes were bad?
Everybody was like, yes, these are fucking great, and they will make you look cool.
Everybody loves tar, sure.
Everybody. What's in these?
Scientists
you don't know?
For well over a year, cigarettes can be bad for you. My car has a couple of those outlets in it. And they don't actually have the cigarette lighters anymore.
Oh, yeah, no.
But it's just, that
heated ice scraper.
That circular outlet. I have one in the back and one in the front, and mine's a 2012. So,
yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, oh, this is in the weird like as seen on TV section of my store, but it's actually useful.
That sounds fantastic. I have one that extends, but anyway, sorry, we're neither here nor there. Back to your story.
Anyway, I don't give a shit about like bringing the groceries in the rain. I just don't care. The 2 times that happens a year, I'll get over it. So in order to get into the garage, there's a door from the downstairs living room into the garage, and then there's a door into my office. So I have to go through like 2 doors to get into my office. which seems kind of silly. And we were like, well, can't we just expand this office to the other side of the door into the house? And then have like a door if I wanted to go into the garage. That would be fine, but otherwise just do this. And I've been sitting here thinking, like while you're talking, but I'm seriously like, I could build a wall. How hard can that be? It's a couple studs, right? Do that, screw it into the fucking, I get one of those like, you have to like hit the nail gun with the hammer kind of nail guns to put the shit into the concrete on the floor and probably crack my foundation, which shouldn't be a problem. I'm sure that'll be fine.
Tapcon screws.
Yeah. Like I'll do that and then I'll screw into the thing and then I'll have a bigger office. That seems logical, right?
Seems doable.
I think I could.
And is it gonna, that's gonna be an exterior wall, right?
Yeah.
Interior walls are no problem. Once it comes to like actually how do you properly do an exterior wall, that's
no, it'll still be in the garage. Like it'll just be.
So no part of the wall you're going to be building. I'm forgetting exactly how I got to the annex in your house.
Yeah,
no part of the wall you're building will be touching the elements outside.
Absolutely not.
Oh, well then, yeah, do your thing.
It seems like if we can get a couple more Patreon subscribers, I can build a fucking wall. That's what I'm saying. I'll document it and put up pictures. It'll be great.
There you go.
Yeah. Nah, I know. Fuck home ownership. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Can't wait to retire.
Man.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm never going to retire.
No, I know. I want to so bad, though.
I think I started having a retirement fund at my last job, but then I lost my last job, and
yeah,
I don't have much of. I don't even know where my retirement fund is now, if I even have one. If there's any money in it or whatever.
That is something you should know.
It is something I should know.
That is. I have a couple. I got 401ks and all types of shit.
I have that was it. It was a 401k.
Yeah.
And I started putting money into it, and then my job disappeared when COVID started. So
yeah.
And it's been on my list of things to do. Like, I should really figure out what's going on with that thing. But
when I was younger, I thought that meant when I retired, I got $401,000 because I was an idiot. Like 401k, that makes sense.
It's Is that not what that means?
No, it's not at all.
I thought that was the goal.
No. Oh, God, that's not enough. It's like 4 years of salary, man. That's not enough to live on for the rest of your days.
I mean, I assumed it was back when that program started.
I mean, maybe. I don't know if that was the original name or the original intention behind the name.
I just kind of assumed that's what it was. I figured between Social Security and $401,000,
you'd be all right.
When I retire at the age of 95,
and I live for another 3 weeks, I'll be okay.
I'll be all right. Because Social Security's not going to exist, and there's no way I'm getting up to $400,000.
No, you better start selling more video games, man.
God, my old age is going to be a nightmare.
Oh God, all of ours is. Not even worried about it. I figure, honestly, truly, I figure it's going to be so bad, like, because things are just so fucked up. Like, it's just the younger generation is going to come up behind us and be like, all right, you old pricks, here's what we're doing. We're going to fucking fix this. You assholes fucked it up. And now we got to kind of just, like, let it be somebody else's problem. It doesn't seem like it can possibly go another way. At all. Like, there's just no way out of where we are currently. Like, have you bought gas recently? It's absurd.
Yeah, that was a lot of dollars. Fortunately, we don't drive very far or get anywhere, but even though Karen is, they're threatening to send her back to work pretty soon, like in the office.
Boo. That sucks.
So that's going to be both gas money and a second vehicle. So,
oh, that sucks.
Because Karen's car is toast, and fixing it is like spending way more than it's worth. So we got to get back up to being a 2-car family because, somebody's got to get the kids.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could homeschool them. That went well.
Oh, yeah, that was great. Me and the kids both loved it.
Everybody had a great fucking time, and they learned. They learned so much. They learned how to say fuck very early. Very proud of them.
Goodness gracious,
goodness.
Man.
All right, before we go down a depressing topic, did you play any games? I did. I played a little bit.
If you only played a few, then knock yours out. I had a couple of things I really wanted to talk about.
Yeah, let's see. So I finished, I told you I started that game, Raji. Did I tell you about that? Or no, because
yes.
we recorded last week.
I thought I remembered you telling me about this.
Maybe I did. I don't remember. It's a weird, like, Indian mythology game. It was really good.
This.
All right, yeah, it was really good. I definitely recommend people play it if you can pick it up cheaply on sale. It was really cool. They told the story in an interesting way. It just there was a lot of frustration involved because it just was very obvious, like, you guys don't really know how to make this yet. Like, there's a lot of really, really cool ideas in here, but it was just missing that level of polish, like, on the combat, to where it was like, I don't know if it's just a talent or a time crunch, or like, we have to get it out. It's good enough, you know. But the game was short enough to where it really didn't ever get that that annoying to be like, well, I'm putting this down and never playing it again. But yeah, like, there was a lot of really, really cool ideas in the way that they did it. So much so that as Tiff and I were playing it, I was like, man, I would love to play a Legend of Zelda game like this. Like, you know, in a very contained, like, story-driven, you know, not open world, but like an old school kind of Zelda title, but much more linear, with all of these cool, like, camera sweeps, and the way that they're telling this story, I think could be really cool. So it was a really good time. Like, I was really impressed. And I'm really excited to see, like, what comes next, you know? Hopefully, it's one of those things where you play it and you're like, man, I hope you guys learned a whole bunch on this title, and, like, your next game is going to be that much better, you know? So that was really cool. And then we jumped into Uncharted, the Lost Legacy, the game that's the Nadine and Chloe game.
Yeah.
And oh my god, it just, I saw a thing on Reddit the other day where somebody was talking about how they were so disappointed that the jump between current gen and last gen, like, graphically, isn't that much. And it was like, I mean, I don't know what the fuck you're playing, but like, we're almost at the point of photorealism now. Like, putting in this Uncharted collection and playing through it on a 4K TV, you know, HDR10, like, all the bells and whistles and whatever, it's stunning. It is. The difference is so crazy to look at. And this isn't like, I'm standing, you know, a nanometer away from my television to look at, like, you know, pixel smoothing and whatever the fuck else is technical shit that I don't actually know. Sitting on my couch and just, like, stopping. Oh my God. You know, like, this is crazy. And I'm sure it's, for certain games it's not there, but, like, looking at the screenshots of, like, Gran Turismo 7, I don't give a shit about playing Gran Turismo 7. But oh my god, have you seen the way that game looks? Holy macaroni. The game's insane looking.
It doesn't look any different to me than any of the other Gran Turismos for the last, like, 20 years. But I know what you're talking about with the photorealism, especially in... I kind of understand both points of it, because I look at it the same way. Like, I just don't see the difference. Isn't this what games looked like already? And then I do a comparison that I look back to, like, oh, okay, this is just what I thought games looked like already.
Yeah.
I go back to something like PlayStation 3 and be like, well, this already looked photoreal. And then I go back and like, oh, it doesn't. It just seemed that way at the time. So I understand the notion of saying, like, Xbox One versus Xbox Series S, there's not really a huge leap, but when you look at them both side by side, okay, yeah, there is a pretty huge leap. It's just not as pronounced as going from Super Nintendo to N64 or anything like that, or PS1 to PS2. It's not as immediately obvious. But
I think it is. I do, like, I really, and it's these Uncharted games, playing through them, where I've been like, I mean, my God, you know, like, I knew that the Uncharted games looked really good, but playing through it on the PlayStation 5 with, you know, like I said, the 4K, the whole thing, it is a staggering difference. Like, and it's a bit hyperbolic to say the difference between, like, Nintendo and Super Nintendo, but, I mean, it is a stunning difference. And the game just plays so damn good. It's weird. That one, I don't feel got a lot of love when it came out because it wasn't Nathan Drake.
I mean, you're talking about an Uncharted game that, number one, didn't have the main character of the Uncharted series, but also it didn't star a white guy.
Yeah, no, I know. There's no white people. It's Indian mythology, which I totally forgot about. Like, I played Raji and then jumped into this. I was like, oh, huh, yeah, doing that thing. But yeah, like, there's not a lot of white people in this one. But God, it's just so good. It's so good. 100% recommend that everybody play this. Like, buy a PlayStation 5 if you can at some point. Or, like, start a podcast and record, like, 370 something episodes and get a bunch of awesome listeners to buy a PlayStation for you so you can rock through this. And then
I am looking at a comparison of Legacy Uncharted 4 running on PS4 Pro versus PS5, and I just can't see the difference. Like, it's smoother. I see that it's running at a smoother frame rate on the PS5. But I just don't see a difference, like in the particles and the way the smoke looks. And
I feel like it's something you got to just play to really, like, I don't think videos do it justice.
And that's the problem, where, like, if you're playing it and you're used to playing it somewhere else, and then you go from one to the other, that is a tangible difference. But it's, you know, to just looking at it being like, okay, my PS4 Pro could have done this. You're looking at a static screenshot, like, well, maybe
it still looks great.
It still looks great.
Everything's awesome. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's fucking awesome. I think everybody should play it. I'm sad that more people didn't play this one, because this one it's more Uncharted. You know, it's outstanding. And then I've also been playing through. Penn has been playing through Carrion.
Okay.
And I
know that game.
Yeah, like, she really, really loves it. But it's fun. Like, I was sitting home today because kind of, like, if I'm not playing Uncharted with Tiff, like, I'll still pop on the show or whatever, and, like, I'll just, you know, like, continue my franchise. I'm in, like, you know, 2050 something or whatever, like, just, you know, I'll just simulate a season and see how we do. So I'm down there dicking around on that, or, like, playing a level in pad or whatever, and I'll hit, Dad? Yeah? I'm stuck. All right, hold on. Let me come be awesome at video games. So, like, I'll go up there. She's like, I don't know how to get through this part. You know, like, can you help me figure this out? And, like, we'll go and play, you know, like 15, 20 minutes of Carrion and then pop back downstairs until the next time I am needed. Which is a really interesting, like, point that we've gotten to, because they really haven't played games yet up until this point, and, like, it kind of makes sense. They're going to be 13 in May, you know, so, like, the games that they're playing are a little bit tougher. They didn't need my help for Pokemon.
Yeah,
you know, it's pretty straightforward. But now that they're getting into some deeper games, they're like, you know, can you come help me out with this? Like, yeah, totally. It's awesome. So yeah, it's really cool being able to, like, go up and help the kids with video games and, like, play games, like, differently with the kids now, of, like, helping them get through games, of, like, man, I had to call this fucking bullshit tip line when I was a kid. Now you guys just come downstairs and be like, Dad, come do this, which is cool. And I think that's it.
All right.
That might be it.
My kids are
totally sidetracked by the varmints.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard not to be. Varmints. How often does that come up, even if you're in the trade?
Even if you are dealing in varmints.
Oh boy. All right, let's see. Psychonauts is unfortunately officially on hold.
Oh, what the fuck? You're so close.
I really wasn't so close. From what I can tell, I'm less than a third of the way through the game.
Oh, that's not
like,
close
oh my god, this is like, and I've been at this for a while. This is good. It keeps losing me and then kind of getting me back in and then losing me again. But either way, doesn't matter because I got my next review assignment for Nintendo Force, which is Infernax.
Oh yeah.
So I started that today. I played like maybe 15 minutes of it, but boy, that's awesome so far. Have you tried this one yet?
No.
It is very much what if Castlevania 2 was really, really violent and very good.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like it is so clearly inspired by Castlevania 2. Like the level design directly harkens to like Castlevania 2. The monster design, like it's very, very Castlevania 2, but also so very violent. And you get bloodier the more you play.
Nice.
Like you're just this 8-bit sprite. And it took me a second to kind of realize what was happening because you are like, you wear gray and red. And then I saved and I was like, I thought I was looking more red. That was blood. So then I'm paying attention to like, as I'm playing the game, like the more monsters you kill, the more bloody you get. And you get cleaned up when you go to a save point. Pretty great.
That's awesome.
I love it. So that's off to a really good start. The Kirby demo. Tell me you've tried the Kirby demo.
I have not. I don't like Kirby.
I know you don't. I know you said you wanted to at least try this one.
I know.
Or but we're interested in it. There's a free fucking demo.
Sure.
It's great. It's really great. It's it definitely cemented my want to buy it. Like I knew it was already really high on my list. But you know, I got pretty burned by that last Kirby game. Like
sure.
I just didn't really like it very much. And this one sold me almost immediately. Like it feels fun to play. Like the actual moving around of Kirby is fun. He feels like a fun character to move in a 3D space, which is not how I felt about Star Allies. It just didn't. I felt the whole thing felt clunky to me, and it's one of the reasons I haven't properly enjoyed a Kirby game in a long time is because I just didn't really like the way they feel to play. They kind of felt more complicated than fun. And this whole mouthful mode thing is just so stupid. I love it.
That's awesome.
I just went over to a vending machine and tried to eat it, and then I'm spitting cans of soda out at everybody. It's fucking great. I got to this, like, I don't know, some thing on a roof, some, like, looked like a grill or something, I don't know, but I went over to it and said mouthful mode, so I pressed the button, and Kirby just latches onto the top of it and starts shaking around until the top pops off, and then you're just stuck there, like, okay, well then spit it back out and you can go move around again. But like the whole point of that one was just like, all right, latch onto this thing and then pull it off. It feels more 3D world than Odyssey. It's more guided. It's not a giant open world thing, which is perfectly fine by me. Not everything needs to be big open world.
Sure.
I like stages. I like something self-contained, but it was super fun.
like levels.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of levels. It's got big bosses, which is super fun. And John loves it. John played it himself. He played it on the easy mode, and then he played it again on the hard mode. Like, he's been really into this demo, like really, really enjoying it. And that was super fun. The co-op mode is great. One player gets to be Bandana Waddle Dee, who has a totally different move set, so that's kind of neat. It's fantastic. It looks great. It sounds great. It is very, very heartwarming to see a Kirby game that's ambitious like this, whereas Star Allies really just felt phoned in to me, and not phoned in. Clearly care was put into it, but it wasn't super creative. And I from what I've come to understand, Planet Robobot was pretty creative, but Star Allies really just felt like more of the same kind of it just felt very basic Kirby and not in a very good way, and I didn't have all that much fun with it by the end. But this Forbidden Planet, what the hell is it? Kirby in the Forgotten Zone, or Forgotten Land. Forgotten Land. That's it. Yeah.
Forbidden Forgotten Lands.
Yeah,
That's a very long title.
Whatever
they should
the
really
name of this
shorten
game
that.
is. The demo is fantastic. The game seems really fun. I'm so happy the way that turned out, and John is like super excited about it. So, hooray! We're still playing Chrono Trigger. John is super into it now. We fought Magus. We went. We fought Magus. We went back to prehistoric times where Lavos landed. And then we went up to the Zeal in the sky, and we just got locked out and went back to the prehistoric times so that we can try and find our way back. But we got the pendant all charged up, so now we're going to go back to the future and open up the doors and the various domes. And man, this game doesn't stop. It's so much fun. Learning all the different techs. It's really, really good. It is held up as well as I had hoped it would. And considering how long it has been since I've played it, I was a little scared that maybe I'd go back to it and be like, well, maybe this isn't quite as great as I remember. Like, we played through Mario RPG, what was it, last year? And I still liked it quite a bit, but by the end of it, I was like, okay, yeah. It's
done with this.
It's very good, but I'm not floored like I was when I was younger. And this one just doesn't let up. It's so much fun. It's so well done. And watching John kind of experience it, and he's enjoying different aspects of it than I did. Like, he just happens to be super into dinosaurs. So right now, everything that was happening in 65 million BC, which is like my least favorite stuff, has been his favorite. And he thinks Ayla's awesome. Like, all right, cool. You do you, man. Awesome. That's awesome. So we're just having a ball with Chrono Trigger. I'll definitely be done with that by the time Kirby comes out. But, and I don't know that I'm going to get it, but they put up a bunch of options for reviews in the next issue, and one of them was Chrono Cross. So I put in to review that one, which is pretty ambitious for me to think I'm going to get through a Chrono Cross in time to review it, but I haven't played that one in even longer than Trigger. I haven't played that one since it launched on PlayStation, which was a good long time ago.
That actually brings me to an interesting point. How long do you feel is long enough before you can credibly review a game?
That really depends on the game. Like, that is such a hard thing, and I've struggled with that myself. Like with Sonic Colors, I didn't finish Sonic Colors. I couldn't. I ran out of time, and I was not in any way compelled to. And I had the fortunate ability to look online and see if there were any major gameplay changes that I hadn't gotten to yet. Because, as long as there aren't any massive game changers and you understand the basics of what this game is, the purpose of a review is to explain how much you enjoyed said experience and whether or not it was worth finishing to you, or whether or not what you think of it in order to inform somebody else's buying decision or something like that, right?
Right.
So it really does, affect, it depends on the game. I've beaten Chrono Cross before. I know nothing intrinsically changes about the way that game is played all the way through to the end. So if I don't actually 100% finish that game, I'll still be able to write a review on it because I know what happens. But playing something like, can you imagine reviewing Metal Gear Solid 2 and not getting past the Solid Snake part? Sure. The thing that I saw was somebody was a professional reviewer, and they were like, look, I play most games for about 7 to 8 hours. That's long enough. And people just went off on Twitter. It was Twitter or Reddit or wherever, and people were like, that's fucking ridiculous. Some games don't even get going until hour 30. It was like, yeah, if a game doesn't get going until hour 30, is it good? Yeah, if you have to play something for 30 hours to even understand what kind of a game it is, then
it's not good. I would argue.
That's kind
you
of
might have fun with it, but I don't know, that's a 5. I don't need to play it that much.
And if it gets that good towards the end of it, well, that's what makes it tough. Like, I would never have wanted to try to review a game like Elden Ring. Like, holy crap, that game, there just seems like there's so much to it.
But the basics of it are there. You know, you're gonna get stuff, you're gonna level up, and you're gonna roll a whole bunch.
Yeah, you're gonna do a lot of rolling.
Do you need to do that for more than 6 hours before you're like, it looks great, it plays well, you know?
Yeah, like, is there gonna be some sort of major change? Like, are you going to get a different kind of weapon 30 hours into it that changes the way things work? I mean,
I can't imagine. Like, and that
you didn't finish Metroid Dread. This is a great example. Dread's a fantastic example.
Okay.
If you play the first 75% of that game, you are not going to be able to properly review it. If you hated it up to that point, to an extent, you're going to be able to say, the mechanics of this game I don't like.
Right.
But about 75% of the way through, there is an intrinsic change to the way it works. The game stops being Super Metroid and becomes Fusion. I'm like, oh, that changes the way I have to approach this. That changes the way I replenish health and everything, because now I'm dealing with things in this direction. So it's not like a massive change, but it is an important enough change that there's like, this is a noticeable difference in the way this is played. And if I didn't play it up to this point, then my review could theoretically be considered incomplete. However, if the game doesn't compel you personally as a reviewer to play it that long, then is your review no less valid? That game, that the fact that it changes that late in the game, is that really going to change your overall feeling about the experience? Or are you just going to say like, well, this really cool thing happened at the end. I wish it happened 3 hours earlier so that I wasn't wasting my time doing shit I didn't want to do. So it's a complicated question.
Yeah, I mean, because
it really does depend on the games.
I think I tend to fall on the scope of like, one, if you're thinking about what it is, like let's just say you were given an 80-hour RPG to review, right? If you work a 40-hour work week, 2 weeks out of the month, from start to finish of your day, would have to be dedicated just to playing that game. Mm-hmm. And literally zero other tasks. And
that's your work day all day, every day, and then you have to write it.
And I think we all understand that there is nobody anywhere where if you are a reviewer for a magazine where it's like, morning boss, go to my office, don't bother me until 5, like that's not how jobs work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're expecting these reviewers to complete these big epic RPGs, these 60, 70-hour games, like what you're asking them to do is work free overtime. And that's not okay. Right? That is just not a thing that anybody should sign up for, because and a lot of the comments that I saw are, as I get older, this is a thing that pisses me off a lot more now, of like, these guys, you know, and people would say it about you or me, and, you know, we've brought up issues with other writings that we've done before of like, oh, you should just feel lucky that you get to do this. I would do that for free. Well, fuck you. This is my time. This is my energy. This is my talent. This is my craft. Don't tell me I should feel lucky for doing this. I work hard at this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I deserve to get paid for it. It's like what's going on with the baseball lockout. I see people siding with the owners of like, these guys should feel lucky they get to play a game for a living. It's like, really? They have sacrificed their entire fucking lives to get to this point. This is all they've done. This isn't luck. This is skill on a absurd level, you know, and video game writing, or writing to a certain degree less so, but you know, it's time, it's energy, it's all of those things, and you deserve to be compensated for that. And it's unfair of people to expect you to somehow work a job yet also complete these absurdly long games so that you can give a review of the entire thing, when that's not what anybody actually wants. Because if you told people what the spoiler was in Metroid Dread in your review, they'd be furious.
Yeah, and not only that, but
they should be.
You're not playing the game the way that most people are going to play it, as in you're not playing it like, did I want to spend my time playing DC Superhero Girls? Like, yes, I was sitting on my ass playing video games, but there were other games I would have much rather been playing than DC Superhero Girls, but it was my job to play through it to a degree where I felt that I could review it. And so that's what I did. So just because you are playing video games, it doesn't mean you are relaxing. It doesn't mean that you are using them for relaxing entertainment or to unwind. Sometimes it's fucking work. Now, I know a lot of people who reviewed Elden Ring played it for like hundreds of hours in their 2 weeks they had or whatever before the embargo. But a lot of them played it that much because they wanted to. It wasn't like,
that's a different thing.
I'm being forced to do this because this is the only way that they'll let me, like, I have to do this for my job. It's like, no, I played enough to review it like 200 hours ago. I kept playing it because I was having fun, and that's what I wanted to do with my time.
I'm enjoying this.
Exactly.
That's a different thing.
That's a different story entirely. But that's why it's such a complicated issue, and that's why it really has to work on a case-by-case basis. Like, it just depends on what you're doing. I really, really want to play Chrono Cross again. I really do. That's why I volunteered to play it. I don't know that I want to play through Chrono Cross on a deadline, though. I took 2 weeks off of work to play that game the first time, and I didn't even finish it.
Right.
Like, and that was with me saying, this is what I'm going to do with my time. And even then, I didn't want to play it all day, every day. So
why would you?
Exactly. Like,
it's not fun.
That's just not, that's not fun. That becomes work. I wanted to dedicate as much time to it as I could. That's kind of like when I took that vacation to play through Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah. I played it until I didn't want to anymore. And that was great to have the opportunity to do. But, now I got kids and other responsibilities and just reviewing games is my only job. And there's other stuff to write about for Nintendo Force too. Like we're doing a whole sports issue, which is pretty exciting actually.
Anyway, sorry to totally sidetrack. It's an interesting, I think it's an interesting topic. And I feel like I can contribute now that I am a professionally paid video game writer.
You are a published video game reviewer.
I know. I got to buy my magazine though. I still haven't done that. Probably should.
Mine hasn't shown up in the mail yet, but that's I'm very happy for you. Have you discussed it all? Did you mention to Lucas that you wanted to review it too, or?
Oh yeah, he said he'll try and get a review copy and all that, and then I'll get to do the review.
Oh, that's fantastic, because he mentioned it in our planning phase, and I was just like, I'm sure he mentioned it to you, but Dan would be more than happy to review the game too. So,
yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Because nobody else on staff seems to have bit on that, but this whole issue is kind of sports based too, but in a
I would love to do that
cutesy Nintendo kind of way.
But yeah, that's
awesome.
Because I am also really curious, because in the last because they're doing the show team they're doing updates every Thursday up until launch, and last Thursday they showed not a ton of new stuff, just some like basic things that they went over, but they showed some new screens on the Switch, and it looked markedly better.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah. Like, certainly not PlayStation 5, but like...
It's never gonna be.
It's never gonna be. The Switch can't do that. So, like, let's...
As long as it doesn't look like a mess like it did during the playtest thing.
Yeah, no, it definitely looked better. So I'm really curious to see what the final product looks like. Awesome. And just that idea of, like, cross progression between... Like, if I have the Switch version and the PlayStation version or the Xbox version or whatever I play loads to the cloud, and when I log into my profile on whatever device, that progress counts. That's fucking
awesome.
Cool. That's so
that is
cool.
Really cool.
So into that idea. Anyway, you were saying.
I have no idea. Kirby looks great. Chrono Trigger's awesome. Let's see. There's been some news. I think that's really all I've been playing. Except for a couple of random bouts of Pac-Man 99. I really don't know where that came from. I was like, you know what? I haven't played this in a while, so
let's do it. Yeah.
All right,
Pac-Man 99.
Couple pieces of news. Nintendo Switch Online, got some icons. Oh, this is kind of neat, and I don't really know what to do about it yet. Strictly Limited Games has announced a Wonder Boy collection. I think we talked about this a little while ago, where they announced
in the Discord.
There's a Wonder Boy thing, and then I was like, you know what? Strictly Limited is going to have a version. It's probably going to have more of them, just like they did with Turrican.
Right.
Let's see. What is the difference? Wonder Boy collection on Switch or PlayStation 4. It's coming to Switch and PS4. I don't know if it's coming out on Xbox, but this includes the regular one that's just available at retail. Wonder Boy collection is Wonder Boy in Monsterland, Wonder Boy in Monster World, and Monster World 4.
Good games.
Good games. Not exactly what I would consider a definitive collection, but, you know.
But a collection. They're not
a
incorrect.
Collection of Wonder Boy games. Then there is the Wonder Boy Collection Limited, Strictly Limited. This is also just called Wonder Boy Collection, and it is still currently available for $54.99. And this is where I'm itching. I don't know what to do. It's $54.99. That's a lot of money
It's a lot of money for Wonder Boy.
However, this is so much. It has 21 versions of games in it. This has the arcade Wonder Boy, the SG-1000 port of Wonder Boy, Super Wonder Boy for Master System, Wonder Boy and Wonder Boy for the international release of Master System, Super Wonder Boy and Wonder Boy, basically the same game for Master System, just some regional differences. Revenge of Drancon for Game Gear, as well as that same game, the Japanese version, which was just called Wonder Boy for Game Gear. Wonder Boy in Monsterland for arcade, Master System, and arcade system, the Japanese version as well. Then you have Super Wonder Boy Monster World for Master System, Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap for Game Gear and Master System, Monster World 2 Dragon's Trap for Master System, the Japanese version, Dragon's Trap Japanese Game Gear version, Wonder Boy 3 Monster Lair arcade, Genesis, and Master System versions, as well as the international. No, that was Wonder Boy 3 Monster Lair was arcade and Genesis. Then we have Wonder Boy in Monster World, which is Master System and Genesis. Wonder Boy 5 Monster World 3 Mega Drive release, and then Monster World 4 the international release for Mega Drive and Genesis, and the Japanese release for Mega Drive.
That's a lot of shit.
It's a lot of shit. It's a lot of different versions of shit, like the SG-1000 version Wonder Boy. That's such a wild thing to have on there. I don't know if I'll play it $55 worth.
I can't imagine you would. Like, $30 sounds right for that.
Right? And these strictly limited games are always way more expensive than they need to be. I spent the money on the Turrican ones because that was just too fascinating to say no, and I will try to play through those Turrican games. This, however, if I'm going to play Wonder Boy 3, I'm going to play the remake. The Dragon's Trap remake is just, it flat out replaces the Master System one for me. It just 100%. Does. Monster World 4, I'm super interested in. And I like Wonder Boy, but enough to play it for a little bit. I don't love the original Wonder Boy game, just like the original Adventure Island. It's like, it's neat, but I'm not going to pour hours into it. And
no,
because it's just not that kind of game for me. It's a neat platformer. The other ones like Wonder Boy 2, I'm interested in, but again, not enough to really like dump the money and time into it, especially with my backlog being what it is. Monster World 4 is the one I'm most interested in, but that also has a snazzy remake, so maybe I would just get that. I don't know what to do. This is just on the cusp of being like, this is too expensive, but that is a hell of a collection. But do I really need this?
Not at $54.
Not at $54.
It's, and even like, at $20, it feels right. Like $30 even feels like a bit much, because like these are old ass games that you're not going to play. Like, you're not going to sit there and be like, yes, the original Wonder Boy is so good. that I'm just going to sit here for hours and play this.
So let's see. Let's look at this from a different perspective. Wonder Boy Asha and Monster World on Switch is $35 for the remake.
Yeah.
And that's just that game, and I think you can switch back to play it in classic mode. I think. I'm not positive.
I don't know.
That smells like, again, a little bit more than I want to pay for that. Now, what about the regular Wonder Boy collection? Just the one that has the basics on it. I saw it on Play Asia. How much is it going to be in America? Like, it was $35 for the Wonder Boy collection import physical one. I would just want it digital. It looks like a PlayStation Store for PS4. It's $35. No, that's the Asha one. That's the Asha one again. What's that collection? How much is it gonna be?
Tell me.
I don't know. But even that one, all right, this one is, I can't find a price for just the regular collection. I mean, if that one's going to be like $30, that's a way better price. But even then, do I want to pay $30 to just play Monster World 4? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. It's on my radar, but it's an interesting thing that happened.
Yeah.
But, and again, it's already 10 o'clock, but still, our second half's going to be pretty short. So I guess we should talk about the Amico-sized elephant in the room.
Well, hold on. There were a couple of things that I found interesting that I saw that were just posted today. Apparently, there is a remake, a version, a brand new port of an N64 game that is built on the original N64 source code, but built for modern PCs, releasing on April 20th. That's right, on 420, bitches. You will be able to get a brand new version of Glover. That's right, your hands on Glover. That's absurd, and it just made me happy because that game is fucking insanity. And it doesn't even look that good, but whatever. It's interesting. And then there was also a thing that Kotaku had today that I also thought was just a relatively interesting stat. Since the original Xbox came out 20 years ago in Japan, they have sold 2.3 million Xbox platforms in Japan.
Huh.
That's not very much.
That's not, I mean, it's a big number.
Across all console generations.
If I had 23 million cheese sandwiches, that would be a lot.
2.3 million, not 23 million. 2.3.
2.3. Still, 2.3 million cheese sandwiches. I'm trying to remember that Doctor Who quote. It's like, three. Is three a big number? That depends. 3, sandwiches? No. 3 corpses? No. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was wild. This is 2.3 million in 20 years.
Wow. Man,
that's not very many.
Japan does not like Xbox.
It's a wild number, right? Like,
yeah.
And the main thing that spoke to me about it, why I thought it was so funny, is because we hear all the time, like, oh, this system's dead or that system's dead. Watch the fuck out. Blah blah blah. Like, no. In America, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, you maybe have an argument about certain things, but then, like, this kind of stuff happens, and you're like, dude, I don't know. I find it interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
2.3 million. That's nothing.
Yeah.
You know how many people live in Japan? A lot more than 2.3 million.
I feel like they sold more Wii U's in Japan than that.
100% they did. 100% they did.
That's brutal.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like, what I think seemed really weird to me, the best-selling console version in Japan has been the 360, but I would have thought that the 360 would have done much. The 360 in Japan has sold 1.6 million units. Everything else is under 500,000.
Wow.
The original Xbox is at 472. The 360 is at 1.6 million. The Xbox One is at 114,000. And the Series X and the Series S is at 142,000.
Damn.
Like, that's just not enough. There were really good games on those platforms.
Yeah, and Microsoft put some real effort into the 360.
They
with,
did.
Like, Lost Odyssey and Eternal Sonata and Blue Dragon. Like, they put some serious effort in trying to court the Japanese market. I thought they would have done a little bit better than that.
A little bit better. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm really surprised. There were really good games on both of those platforms. Like, the original Xbox, okay, that was definitely a Western console. Like, for sure. Okay, I get that. But once we hit the 360, it just seems wild to me that the sales kind of dropped back off after that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Huh. It is time to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to do our Stone Age starter kit on the 32X, and it's going to be fun, damn it.
It's going to be quick. Because it's already 10:45.
Because it's already late and encroaching on bedtime. So, there you go, folks. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around. And now, here's a quick look at some of the other original content available now from our partners and Geekade.com.
First up, who got a pair of 2 new Quest 2 headsets?
Me.
I added too many 2s in there, but that's all right. The Weekend Rental Crew, that's who. This is very rhymey. It's very Dr. Seuss. In an all-new episode, they put them through their paces. How do they work? Are they aces? How do they smell? Are they swell? How do they taste? Fuck. That is shit.
How do they taste? I eat paste.
Yeah, right? Like, that's all I got. How do they taste? Good enough to add inches to your waist. Plus, Nintendo is shutting down some stores. They find out who the true 90s kid is. It's me. And more. More, I say. Don't miss the Weekend Rental episode 120. The gamers go on a quest.
Next, what's that you said, Dan? Nintendo is closing down shoe shops. I mean, e-shops.
Yes. Shoe shops. All those Nintendo shoe shops.
Yes, sadly, the Wii U and 3DS eShops are coming to a close, and they're taking a metric ton of games down with them. Fortunately for all of you, I made a video to help you decide which games you should spend your hard-earned eShop credit on. Me and like 50,000 other people, but mine's great.
No one else has had this idea.
Nobody else has done what I did. Have a look at the gratuitous Rainbow Spectrum What to Get on the Nintendo eShops before they're gone. Available now on the Stone Age Gamer YouTube channel. Catch it.
Ryan demands content. What do you want? Finally,
I was proud of that one. It was fun to make, too.
I'm sure it was. Finally, Geek Age Transformers-specific podcast has taken a slight detour. Bat-flavored detour. Which is chewy, I imagine. I imagine that's the flavor of bat. This tastes chewy. Instead of their traditional...
licorice. Black licorice is what I imagine bats are.
Ooh. Chewy, yeah, I can see it. Instead of their traditional Transformers fare, the Sparkcast crew is tackling a very special episode of Batman, the animated series, in which our animated hero gets herpes. This week we can see Batman fighting against possibly sentient robots and their master Hardak, created by Cybertron Industries, who seeks to replace all humans with machines. The Sparkcast crew talks about the Blade Runner influences in the episode, wonder just how much control some of these robots have from Hardak, and talk about Barbara Gordon's first entry into the series. Be sure to check out Sparkcast episode 55, Batman Taz, Heart of Steel.
For all this...
That's how you say that, right? Batman Taz?
Batman Taz. The animated series.
Good times.
Seriously though, I saw these planned ahead for a while in our Geekades back end, and I was like, wait a minute, Batman? Oh, Sparkcast is covering Batman. Good for them.
They do a good show. You should listen.
They do. For all this and more from us and our partners, be sure to keep your eyes on Geekade.com. All right, folks, we're back. We're back and better than ever.
All right. Let's talk about the ghoul that is Tommy Talarico.
Oh boy. All right. So let's catch up with, I don't know where we left off, but Talarico stepped down. He's not the CEO anymore. He's the CFO.
The chief fun officer.
That's right, because that's what he wants to focus on, is doing fun stuff like going out and doing his video games live tour.
It's not at all what I signed up for, but yes.
Because he's not doing. What's he gonna do? He's got to do the creative stuff. That's really where his heart lies, and all the creativity. Like, okay, all right, sure. So this new guy's in charge, Phil Adam, right? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Phil Adam is the new CEO, and didn't realize
names. Never a good sign.
Didn't realize at first, but Phil Adam was a financial guy for the Coleco Chameleon.
Not what you want.
No, not what you want at all. That's not something you want on your resume. And I do find it fascinating that anybody from that project got involved with the Amico. Like, if I was running a company that was trying to start up something like the Amico, I wouldn't want anyone that was anywhere near Coleco Chameleon. I don't care how nice a guy you are, or just, no, sorry, we need to distance ourselves from that in every conceivable way. And instead, you would think. But instead, he's now the CEO of Intellivision. So, they jumped onto yet another. This is when we talked about the they wanted Start Engine to do another round of crowdfunding, and this is where they had that as you called it, Viridian Dynamics commercial, which was really just the perfect way of explaining that thing. That was like, all right, here's this trailer for the Amico. Oh, and now you're really hitting us up for the crowdfunding at the end of it. Okay, so this is really just asking for money. That's precious, including this.
That's nice.
Including the same footage, all those games, including the same Earthworm Jim running in one direction footage. Like, wow, man. Okay, okay. So,
it's bold strategy,
to the financials,
Cotton.
I'm pretty sure and I could be wrong on these numbers, but it was something insane. They needed to raise at least. They were trying to get $5 million out of ultimately out of Start Engine. I know they needed to hit a certain threshold, and Start Engine would like cover the rest or something like that. Either way, they needed to get $5 million out of Start Engine to keep them going till July, to keep them limping until July.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they were in. Their money, this is well-trodden ground. I'm not going to go through to try and find all the details. Just search the Amico online. You will find all this information very well detailed. But they were in financial just ruin. It's really not a great financial state. There was one investor that was going to be, in order to pay him back, he was going to get $100 out of every console sold until he was paid back.
Yeah.
Now, when Tommy was on our show, he was talking about some thick profit margins, if I remember correctly.
Very.
And that thins them considerably if he is to be believed.
Because they jack the price of the console up.
Yeah, but even
when Tommy was on our show, it was.
Oh yeah.
Well, but when Tommy was on our show, it was $250. Yeah. It's now $350.
Yeah.
So there's your $100.
It's now up to $350, which is now no longer, and even $250 was pushing it as far as being competing with other hardware out there.
Yeah.
Now, if we're talking $350 and $20 games or more, your whole inexpensive option, that's gone. That's not even kinda a thing anymore. So Start Engine didn't go great. They raised about 50 grand, which is now currently under 50 grand because people keep backing out.
Yeah. Well, because they closed it, right? They closed it and collected.
They closed it. They closed it early. I don't think they've collected yet because it's dropped again in the last couple of days. How much money is there? Like, I think they're still going through, but they closed that thing early, theoretically, so they could collect. And they had promised that there was going to be a shipping update by the end of February. And the end of February came, and we didn't get a shipping update.
To be fair, February's a really short month, Chris.
It is,
and nobody knew.
Nobody knew. It's hard to plan ahead for that kind of thing. So let's see. We got.
I mean, was it a leap year? Did you know? You don't know. It could have been. You don't use a current calendar. Maybe they're using Nintendo calendars from back in the day.
3-2. On March 2nd, we got an email. I got this email as well. News and updates from Phil Adam. This is the entire update. We were promised, including all of their investors, were promised a shipping update. It is still listed as Q1 2022 on their official website. It's going to be an update. And this is what
console that was supposed to be out in October of 2020.
That's right.
That's an important thing to remember as we are now in March of 2022.
So this is the update we got. I wanted to take a moment to provide an update and also extend my apologies. As you know, it was my goal to communicate with you by the end of February. However, over the last few weeks, we started discussions with potential investors/acquirers outside of the Start Engine universe. As we continue to work with them on a deal structure and terms, it has been agreed that we maintain a quiet period while negotiating. The magnitude of this type of deal will invariably have an influence on our path forward, but are excited about the potential of a new group's involvement with Intellivision and will update you as soon as we are able. Thank you for your continued support and patience. Phil Adams, CEO, Intellivision.
Now, as you know, it was my intention to provide you with an update. And I believe that I have. Talk to you never, losers.
What in the world, this single paragraph, what in the world stopped this paragraph from being sent out on February 28th?
Hubris, I believe, is the word that you're looking for.
I'm trying to think of a good reason for why they couldn't have. I mean, investors/acquirers, that could mean anything. And knowing the way that Tommy talked about things, like I was listening to, now I take everything that this guy says about the Intellivision with a grain of salt, but I've been enjoying some delicious Schadenfreude about the Intellivision Amico, and this one dude, Smash JT, who was like in the cult for a while and has since backed out of said cult, has been coughing up some fun details, and he was talking about Earthworm Jim 4 with his conversations with Tommy about it, because Tommy would talk to him about these things because he was like a well-known YouTuber, and that was who Tommy was relying on for his puff pieces, I guess. I don't know, but he said that there was never a plan. All that stuff that Tommy was talking to us about, where we confronted him about how do you do Earthworm Jim without violence? And I talked to him about the gun and how the blaster gun is such a part of the personality. How do you do an Earthworm Jim game without that kind of violence? If this is your thing, how do you do that? And his response was something to the extent of like, oh, you'll be surprised. I think you'll be impressed with what we came up with. And he didn't have an answer because there wasn't one.
Of course there wasn't.
I feel like a sucker for taking him at face value on that. Like, okay, I'll believe you that you have something planned, but apparently there was never a plan. They never figured out what they wanted the game to be for the exact reason that we confronted him about. That how do you make an Earthworm Jim game that is Christian family friendly with no gun violence?
Can't be done.
Don't. It can't be done.
You
it's
just
not
don't make
Jim.
it. You make the 3-second video of him walking to the right. that's what you can do.
That's what you can do. Apparently there was like, maybe it'll be a party game or something like that, but that's not an
Earthworm Jim 4.
That's not an interesting new direction that's going to blow us away like Tommy told us it was going to be. It's not. And it was never going to be. So, I mean, I can't imagine that there's an investor or an inquirer out there that's looking at the Amico situation right now and saying, yeah, I'll cover your debts. I'll throw in literal millions of dollars at this. I mean, the only thing that makes sense to me is, the acquirer's part. Like, okay, maybe somebody's trying to buy the brand, but even then, what about Intellivision is worth this much money and this much bad press?
I mean, I think what we have said a bunch of times before, but what made sense was to make mobile games. And I think because Brett Weiss, who we've had on the show, who is a lovely man, canceled his pre-order. Like, we talked about it in Discord a little bit. He put out a whole video. Like, you've lost Brett Weiss on all of your bullshit. But I promise you, that Moon Patrol game came out with the Intellivision brand, as an app for $6. He'd buy it. 100%.
I'd probably buy it. See, that was the thing when Brett was trying to convince me.
That game looked pretty good.
When we last had Brett on and he was trying to convince me of like, well, this is the kind of game, this is why I'm excited about it, because the things that you love are the kind of stuff that they're working on with the Amico. I'm like, all right, you've convinced me that is something that is worth being interested in. I want that freaking Breakout game. It looks amazing. Yeah. I want the hell out of that game.
But as to to steal somewhat of the parlance of our times, it could have been an email. That could have been an app. That
game could have been released on PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch already, and have made a decent chunk of money. That game could have been on the Atari VCS.
Could have been on your phone.
No, I want that on my TV.
No, sure.
Honestly, I've had a couple of itches to be like, man, I wish the VCS wasn't as expensive as it is, because like that's my kind of stupid, and they're releasing those kinds of games on it. They're releasing those.
Sure.
They're coming to Switch too, but like I keep thinking about that new Breakout Recharged. I'm looking at that like, man, that would be great. I would love to play that with that Atari controller. That new joystick.
Yeah.
That sweet like paddle control built into the stick. That thing's awesome. But it's way too expensive. I could not never justify that for the handful of games that I would play it with. But like that's the kind of curiosity I have toward Amico too. And if it was eventually become cheap enough, I would want to get one just because it's a curiosity. But
it's just never coming out. It never was going to come out. What really bothered me, what really soured me on it, because like I appreciated the fact that like we talked some shit, Tommy responded, and then he came on the show, and it was a fun interview. Like he was fun to talk to and whatever. What bothered me the whole time we were doing the interview though was like, I mean, I don't talk a lot of shit about myself most of the time. I do this weird what did Jonathan say last week? Like the weird humble brag joking around shit that I do. But like none of it, it's all very much tongue in cheek. But like Tommy really thought he was smarter than me. And like he thinks that he's the smartest person in the room, whatever room he walks into. And that really fucking rubbed me the wrong way. You know, like especially looking at all the interviews and stuff after it, because it was like, dude, we, in a very, very nice way, called you on your bullshit. Like we weren't confrontational about it, but we called you on your bullshit, you know, and like you straight up lied. Mm-hmm. You just straight up lied, you know, like just the very idea we're releasing a video game system. And I asked him, you know, how do you plan on competing with the, you know, the PlayStation? You're releasing back when it was originally supposed to release in the same month as the series and the PlayStation 5. How do you plan on competing? Well, they're not really our competition. Yes, they fucking are. It's a video game system.
Number one,
it competes against other video game systems.
100%. You're absolutely right. But also, they keep bringing those other systems up. If you're not you guys competing
keep
against
talking
them,
about them.
They're the ones that keep directly comparing the Amico to the Switch and the PlayStation and the Xbox. They directly compare themselves like, oh, we're so much less expensive than those other systems that they're so complicated and they require all this other stuff. And the Switch, they peddle porn games. That is the system that you buy if you want your children to be subjected to porn and rape simulators.
I know. I've been looking for them. I can't find any.
I'm sorry. What? And that's it sounds crazy. It sounds like I'm exaggerating. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like I'm exaggerating something that he said, but like no,
word
he
for word.
Said that. That is exactly what Tommy said, which is nuts to me. Which is absolutely insane to me. And like now, what was it when he doesn't talk? They didn't talk about it as much when he was on our show. It was all about that cornhole game. That was the next Wii bowling. That was what was going to take the world by storm.
I fucking love cornhole. I'll just go play cornhole though.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to actively go bowling. Have you gone bowling? It sucks.
I love going bowling.
Sure, but it sucks. Like, you can't deny that there are aspects of it that are not ideal. Whereas with cornhole,
I love going bowling.
Yeah, but with cornhole, you just go in your backyard.
That is true.
I'd have to go put my feet in somebody else's shoes. It's fucking weird.
But that was the thing that was going to be his big thing. And then, well, I was talking about, like, that was before Clubhouse games had come out, but it had been announced. Like, oh, you're going to get all these games with the Amico, and it's only going to be this much, and it comes with 2 controllers. Like, okay, well, the Switch comes with 2 controllers. Well, no, it doesn't. The Joy-Cons aren't really 2 controllers, and I feel like it's been so long since that conversation happened. I feel like I remembered having that argument with him, and he was so difficult to talk to because he talks like a politician, and I'm not trained to deal with that. And I've gone back and listened to that conversation with him a couple of times and been like, I should have pressed him harder on this, but he was very good at steering the conversation away from things he didn't want to talk about. And the point of like, yes, the Joy-Cons are fully functional controllers for the games, especially for the kinds of games you're talking about. Like,
also, to be fair to us, you and I both very much approached that interview with the idea that let's not be assholes, because Tommy, for all of his ghoulish qualities, and he is a fucking ghoul, knows people. And maybe this means that we can talk to somebody else through him. But not if we're dicks. So let's not be dicks. We had that conversation. You know, somewhat sacrificing our whatever journalistic integrity for the sake of maybe chasing a carrot down the road. And I'm all right with admitting that because I do have integrity. So I'm okay with admitting where it falters at times.
Well, I mean, with me, from what I remember, I just generally remember being nervous about talking to him because he was not like a huge big deal. He's not as big of a deal as he likes to say that he is.
But he's not no one.
He's not no one. He was on a friggin' national TV show, The Electric Playground on G4. He wrote the music for Earthworm Jim, for crying out loud, and several other things. Like
the fucking sound in Roblox.
Yeah, which I feel like that was something that he had recorded beforehand, and they took it, and then
like,
it was a total luck thing. He didn't record it for them. It was a sound effect that existed elsewhere, and but that's the thing. He doesn't play it like that. He says, "That's me. I did that." Oh, so you were involved in Roblox. You recorded that voice because Roblox was like, Tommy, record this voice. That's the way he presents it. Even though that's not the actual truth, and he never actually says that that's what happened. It's just the way that it's presented. It's the omission of all the other important facts that makes a lot of what he says so creepy. And like, we had a good conversation with the guy. We did.
Yeah.
And and by the time he stopped when he stopped fucking around with us, that was like when the interview started to get way more fun, because when he kept hitting us with his sales pitches and we didn't fit in those particular boxes that he was trying to convince us are what people fit into. Like, so your wife, she goes shopping and she ticks off this, and she doesn't know what she's looking at. We're like, what the fuck are you talking about? That is not how either of our relationships work. Like, that is absolutely not the way that works. We married intelligent people. And he kept trying to fit us into these boxes. For like, what are your favorite video game memories? They were probably with a bunch of other people on the couches. And we're like,
nope.
No, that's
not even a little bit.
I
fucking hate playing games with a lot of people.
I love playing games with a lot of people. Some of my favorites are, but most of mine are from playing single player games. And like, we didn't fit into those boxes. And eventually he stopped trying to sell us on that and started talking about how they were focusing on like moms groups and Christian groups. And like, so you're trying to sell it to people that you don't think know any better. Like, you're effectively telling us that the point is to trick people, and you don't need to. And this is what's been bothering me since day one. You don't need to. That they're he felt like he needed to convince us, or he needs to convince people that you need to buy this system because of all these other things. This is so much better than those other options because of this. Like, well, stop comparing yourself to these other platforms. Just show the cool shit that you have. Do you want to play simple games that are focused on local multiplayer? Here's a bunch. No other system offers local multiplayer. That stuff's been dead. Kids live in their basements and they have headsets on. They're all dungeons and antisocial. Like, that's not the way it works. It doesn't
Cheeto dust everywhere.
It's never actually been that. Gaming has never actually hit that point. Like Nintendo 64, that generation. Of course, you've got your Metal Gears on PlayStation, your Resident Evil, but GoldenEye, Diddy Kong Racing, like
all the wrestling games.
That whole generation is just as defined by local multiplayer as not. The following generation.
4 ports on it.
Right? How about the following generation where people are carrying CRTs to each other's houses to play local network LAN parties?
Nope.
For fucking Halo.
Didn't happen.
It
didn't happen.
Local multiplayer, even with the advent of Xbox Live on Xbox, local multiplayer was such a huge part of that system's identity. Local multiplayer never went away. For fuck's sake, Nintendo did the crazy Game Boy Advance Link Cable 4 Swords thing with a Zelda game. They launched a home console Zelda game based exclusively on local multiplayer, even when online would have been so much better.
Yeah, so much better.
It would have been functionally so much better to have that game online enabled, and they insisted on local multiplayer. Like, that never went away. So stop trying to convince people that it did. Just say that your system is focused solely on that. Like, we're not going to make a game system that's based on the single player experience. We want to focus on the local multiplayer. Not saying it doesn't exist anywhere else, but this is our primary focus. There's a selling point. Here's an inexpensive system that we want to make accessible and local multiplayer, and that's just what we're going to do. Like, we're not going to say it's more accessible than the other guys, because trying to tear down these other objectively better systems is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
The Atari VCS is on the market, and none of their marketing is about how their system's better than others. As a matter of fact, the Atari Recharge games
that would
are like,
be absurd.
Right? Most of the new games, their Atari Recharge stuff are like, yeah, it's coming on these other platforms too. Buy it there if you want. Have fun. Or buy it on our system.
Just give us money, please.
Yeah, just buy it wherever you want. If you want to play it on your cool Atari VCS with our awesome little joystick, have at it. That's the prime experience. Or play it wherever you want, wherever makes you happy. I don't care. It's fucking Centipede. Go nuts. That's the
not trying to put the pussy on a pedestal to steal from 40-year-old virgin. Like, it's Centipede. It fucked. What's wrong with you?
This system, at its core, if they had just kept it small, realized what they had, and moved forward with it, I think it would have been awesome. I think it would have been It would have been a cool niche thing that could have gone somewhere. It was never going to take over the industry, but it never needed to. Like, good enough could have been good enough with this. And I did think it was and I do still think it's a neat idea. When I think about the kinds of games that they were releasing for it, have a little screen on the controller, as long as they could have made it work, which is arguable that they ever actually made it work as well as it should have. There was a neat idea to be had here. This is a weird oddity, and if they had just stuck with it being a neat little oddity, it would have been a cool thing to exist in the world. But they put the cart so far before the horse, it was ridiculous. They didn't finish any of this shit.
No.
And they kept trying to pump it up like, no, we are going to be a thing. This is going to take off. And it never was going to take off. It was always going to be a niche, and that's fine. Not every product needs to be a giant mainstream crazy success. They're talking about building NFTs into it and getting like, we're going to build this network where you can have scores on a state level, on a county level, on a country level, and we're going to do all these leaderboards that everyone's going to be able to compete against each other. We're going to mail you patches. It's going to be awesome. Like, dude, settle the fuck down.
But get the system out first.
Here, take this thing, this thing, and then build on it. Make this core thing work, then build on it. And like, it's the complete opposite perspective of like, he seems like the kind of person that was always bitching about, like, remember when Animal Crossing came out? It's like, oh, there's nothing doing this game. Like, they announced they're going to update it continuously for a long time. Okay, but I want all this shit now. Well, that's not how this works.
It's not how this works. Can't have it now.
That you can't have it now. We want everyone to do this, and then we want everyone to do this. We want to tier this out because that's the way we want to do things. And that's how they should have approached the Amico. They should have started at a core and been like, all right, here's what works. We're going to make this work, and then we're going to release this with a handful of games. Ta-da. Now we got that out there in the market. We've learned what happens when people actually get their hands on it. We're going to fix a couple of things because nobody gets everything right on day one.
Of course not.
A smaller company that hasn't made a game system before. So we're going to fix a few things, and we're going to clean that up, and then we're going to release some more cool things and build, start small and build. And they just wanted to release, no, we're going to be in fucking Best Buys and Walmarts and Targets. We're going to be everywhere. This thing's going to be right next to the Switch on the shelf, which we're totally not competing with. Totally not our competition, but we're going to be right next to those guys, and we're going to look great in comparison. But don't compare us to it because we're not competing with them. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah,
so it seems like this thing's dead now, right? Like,
it's been dead the whole time.
I can't imagine. I mean, we know Tommy got paid, right? Because that was in the big filing thing, right? That
yeah. Tommy
had whatever he put in there has been paid back. That the salaries have been paid. The people that were involved have gotten their money. So nobody took any real risk except for all the investors, which the Start Engine investors have been getting updates, but the previous one where they raised the couple $1 million, I forget which one that was.
Yeah. They
haven't been getting updates.
No, why would they?
Exactly. And the whole time...
Don't need to update them, especially when you're about to fucking file for bankruptcy.
And oh my goodness, the whole the Start Engine campaign. I mean, obviously you had a bunch of trolls jump on there, because you've earned that at this point. You really have. Yeah. And they wouldn't have had all these trolls if they hadn't come out with this, like, no, the finger wagging thing, which is what got Tommy on our show in the first place. The whole finger wagging at the industry of being like, no, all these are violent and we're not going to do that. We're going to be better than that. And like,
yeah,
you're inviting that kind of shit right there. Just stop trying to say you're better than everyone else. Just point out what you do well, regardless. Like, Phil Adams in the comment section ignoring actual investor questions that are legit questions from people who have given you money, ignoring those questions and instead engaging with every troll comment that they can find.
Mm-hmm.
And
because that's more fun.
That's more fun. And usually the response is, have you played the system? No, you've had like 5 events in like 3 cities around the... No, not everybody.
Nobody's played the damn system.
Nobody's played this because it's not out. Of course, they haven't played the system yet. All we have to go on is what you've shown, and what you've shown is a fucking mess. Oh my god.
I know. So but we're still talking about it.
We're still talking about it because it's absolutely fascinating. What I was enjoying the most during this little, this crazy situation here was I'm trying to find the name of this guy's YouTube channel. He did a wonderful job with this. If you haven't listened to this and you just have several hours to put some stuff on in the background, which is really fun. Like I had this on in the background for most of what I was doing with work throughout this time period was something Kitty.
That was a good metal band back in the day. I mean, I say good. They were interesting.
Ninja Kitty. The Ninja Kitty YouTube channel. This guy just went through and read the comment sections, basically. And it was outstanding because, like, I'm not going to sit there and read the comment sections, but having somebody else read them to me so I can do things while somebody's reading me this wonderful, wonderful Schadenfreude in the background was really quite fascinating. So, boy, this has been an experience, and it's still not over, even though it's kind of over, but it's still not officially over yet. And I'm very curious to see, like, maybe they will pull a rabbit out of the hat. Maybe there is some sort of crazy investor that's going to be like, yeah, we're going to buy this off. It's probably just, people maybe selling off specific assets, which is, that seems to make the most sense to me. Like they're selling off certain Amico assets, but Intellivision assets, but I don't know, man. This shit's brutal.
It really is, man. It really, really is. Didn't need to be.
It did not.
You could have made a cool thing, but you had to be a dick about it.
And I'm bummed about that. So very bummed about it. I mean, what's it? The guy who owned the Intellivision brand before Tommy, who died? Yeah. Like, he was doing good stuff with it. He was doing he was trying. Making sure, like, he wasn't trying to make it take over the world, but there were some, like, the Intellivision Lives collections and the plug and plays, like, living up to the Intellivision's actual legacy. Yeah. It was never King of the Hill. It was never the top of the pack. It was never Atari.
It was never going to be.
It was Intellivision was always this weird thing that had this goofy ass disc controller, and it was neat, had some cool things, but it's not the all-time classics. It never was.
Yeah, it makes me sad. The whole thing makes me sad.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it being over. As much as I'm going to miss enjoying watching it crash and burn, which has been very, very entertaining because of how obstinate Tommy had been throughout this entire situation. But
it doesn't make me feel good about myself, the amount of enjoyment I get from the disaster that it is, but
well, I don't mind it so much because I don't feel like that's not entirely true. The people in the company, I don't mind. I enjoy watching that company take the hits, but what sucks is all the people who put their money into it who didn't know any better. Right. There are a lot of investors that put a lot of money into this, and they're never going to see that money again. And granted, it's their own fault for investing, but at the same time, it was based on lots of misinformation. They were misled. And I do feel bad for those people who are never going to see that money. They're just never going to see that money again.
I do feel like it's one of those, if you have to ask how much money it costs to fill up the boat, you can't afford it anyway. Like, if you're investing in the company, you're doing okay.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And you guys were probably... I would have to imagine that the sales pitch was like, all right, so we're going to rip off a bunch of fucking rubes, and it's going to be awesome. Like, that's my guess as to what the sales pitch meeting for the investors was, just based on the way that Tommy talked to us.
Yeah, he had a whole spiel that seemed like it was designed very specifically to work on people who don't know any better.
Yeah.
And that was gross.
That was gross.
And, you know, I wish I had handled that interview. I always go back and wish I handled that interview better. And, well, what can you do?
Not much.
We are who we are. We are where we are. And, SAG script. There it is. So, we ask every month, what would you do if you had $100 to spend on starting a physical collection of games for a game console? Now, we are presupposing that you have the console and all required accessories. So, it's just for cartridges. Obviously, we tend to go for loose or imports when available, and this time we're doing the 32X, which is pretty weird. I actually wound up with 4. You said how many games did you have? 4?
3.
3. Okay, well, I got 4, so... Honestly, it went a little better than I expected. I didn't think I'd be able to get up to 4, but I did. I came in at $97. So we'll just go ahead and take turns. Since I have one more, I'll go first. And my first one is the bulk of my money. It is at $47, and I recommend Afterburner.
I've really thought about it.
It is such a fun port of Afterburner. It's probably, at least at the time, it was such a great conversion. It played so much like the arcade game. It was so much fun to play. I would go over to my friend Jed's house, and he had a 32X for some god-awful reason, and Afterburner and like 2 other games, and we would just play Afterburner like crazy on that thing. I was like, man, this is just like the arcade, which at that point I hadn't played anything that had a arcade perfect port of Afterburner. That game still looks so cool. It's so much fun to play. And no, you can get Afterburner elsewhere now, but if you want an example of what the 32X was great at, it was arcade perfect conversions that hadn't really existed on other platforms to that point.
Yeah.
And Afterburner is a great example of that. I waffled between that and Space Harrier, but I just have that personal connection to Afterburner, and Afterburner was a little bit cheaper. So $47, Afterburner for 32X. That's my choice, Dan.
That's it's an expensive choice, but like I said, one I almost made with you. I didn't go with Afterburner as my hey, arcade games were really great on this system. I went with my most expensive choice, and that would be the $48 NBA Jam Tournament Edition. Now, I know we've talked about NBA Jam before. We don't have to spend a ton of time on it. But this was probably the best version of NBA Jam. Still didn't sound as good as the Super Nintendo version. That one definitely sounded a little bit better. But this just, I think, looked the best. If you could get over the weird button mapping, it's a little awkward to play because the turbo button was in the middle, which, you know, like whatever. But once you kind of got used to the fingering of the Genesis controller and playing this game, it was just a really, really, really good version of NBA Jam, which is a blast and harkens back to that time of multiplayer games, which, as we discussed previously, nobody does anymore. So
doesn't exist.
Just doesn't exist.
I have never played this specific version of NBA Jam. I have it, but I don't exactly bust out the 32X all that often.
Right.
And most of my NBA Jam was played on Super Nintendo anyway. But yeah, okay, fair enough. I agree with your. I don't have any way of arguing with you on that one. So bully for you. All right. My next pick is the $16 Star Wars Arcade. It ain't perfect, but it's Star Wars Arcade.
Yeah, I almost went with that. You'll see why I didn't in a second.
It's a neat game. It's not. Again, it's not perfect. I haven't played a ton of it. Jeez, I can't remember the last time I actually played the 32X Star Wars Arcade, but it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
I'm
it
trying
has
to remember
some
exactly what
really
this is.
Horrible slowdown in it.
Oh, hell yeah, it does.
Which is
it ain't perfect.
It makes the fucking the Kessel Run in 32 parsecs damn near impossible. It makes the Death Star fight just awful.
Yeah, it's interminable, but it is a game that I had fun with. It is a neat looking Star Wars game. Like it's so, you know, early polygons, no textures.
Yeah.
And if I'm remembering right, this was based on the this was like a revamp of the original version. Arcade Star was released in '93. Okay, it's a conversion of the arcade '93 Star Wars arcade. So I'm thinking of this wrong. I always thought this was supposed to be like a funked up revamp of the old vector graphics one, the Atari one. No, there was another one. I'm remembering this wrong. I don't know. I don't care. It's still neat. It's good for $16. There's not a lot of great cheap 32X games. So
there's not.
As far as this goes, if you're a Star Wars whore like me, and again, come on, this is neat. It's Star Wars.
It is neat.
Yeah.
Almost made my list. Almost made my list, but the reason it didn't was because the next game that I have on my list, which is a very, very similar game to the Star Wars arcade game, but that would be the $23 Shadow Squadron.
I knew that's where you were going, Shadow Squadron. I went back and forth, but because I'm such a Star Wars whore, I stuck with Star Wars.
You really, the $7 difference, you really get what you're paying for. Really
Shadow Squadron's technically a better game, but
it's a better game. Star Wars. It's not Star Wars. That's like that, and you have to decide there. Like, do you want a better overall game, or do you want the Star Wars dressing? I went with the better overall game, but I neither of them are perfect, and I don't think you'd go wrong with either one. But both of them do show off what the 32X was good at, which was that kind of like, oh my god, it can do these crazy polygonal things that we just hadn't seen yet.
Yeah, like, oh, I can do this without buying a whole crazy new CD-based system in the future. I can just plug this into my Genesis. This shit's amazing. How many power adapters do I need?
78? Sign me up.
Wow, shit, this uses as much electricity as my air conditioner. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That's what I got. Shadow Squadron.
Sticking with arcade games, I didn't have a whole lot of money left, and I thought this was a good way to go about it. So next up on my list would be the $18 Virtua Fighter. That
would be the last game on my list.
Look at that, Virtua Fighter, a whole $18. It's a pretty solid conversion of the original Virtua Fighter, which is itself just a jolly good time. What a game this is.
What a weird-ass game to go back and play.
Right? Like, man, I remember seeing this in the arcades and thinking, like, man, the future's
it's never going to get better. We are here in the halcyon days. It's never...
I remember looking at this and having a very different reaction. I remember
Did you?
At this,
I thought it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen.
I thought it was absolutely amazing, but at the same time, I looked at this like, man, this is such a huge step backwards. Like, games are getting more detailed in 2D, but this is like 3D Atari graphics. Like, Atari was just like, well, here's a bunch of blocks that you're supposed to think looks like something, and that's exactly what this is, except it's 3D now. So it was this weird place for me where we're looking at like, man, this and like hard driving, these games look crazy. It's like playing the Dire Straits music video, but like, I don't know. The lack of detail is like really bumming me out.
I get that. I just loved Virtua Fighter so much. I loved the way it played.
It's awesome.
It felt like a kung fu game for the first time. Like, Street Fighter is great. Don't get me wrong. I fucking adore Street Fighter 2 and the iterations after that. But Virtua Fighter was so different, and it was like, no, this is like real fighting.
Except the jumping.
Whee! Yeah, but even that felt like this at least feels authentic to kung fu movies that I grew up watching. So like I could even suspend my disbelief to that point, you know?
Yeah, really, the animation, I don't feel the same way about the way this game played as you do, obviously, and I never have. But one thing that did absolutely impress me, and there was the kind of the big difference of the Atari connection I was talking about, like, oh, well, now we're looking at a bunch of squares that are supposed to represent things, now it's polygons, but there is no denying the way this game animated was so far beyond any 2D game.
Yeah.
Like, especially at the time, this moved like real people would move doing these fantastic things and jumping and flying through the air and stuff. But like the punches and the kicks, like they have this very visceral, realistic motion to them, which
There's
was really
a snap
astonishing at the time.
to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I fucking love it. Love it,
Yeah.
love it, love it.
It's a cool game, and I do think it is so absolutely worth getting on the 32X if this is what insanity you're doing.
If you're buying a 32X and you've only got $100, you better fucking get Virtua Fighter.
Yeah. All right, well then I'll finish this off with Virtua Racing. Virtua Racing Deluxe. Virtua Racing is a cool ass racing game, and this is certainly a port of it. I have such a hard man, that I still haven't bought it yet, but that Switch version that they released that's all like fancied up is so awesome.
Yeah.
The thing about this one that bothers me, now this was $16, so really, come on.
Yeah.
This is great. However, what drives me kind of nuts about it is comparing the 32X version to the Genesis version. Now the 32X version is hands down better. However, there is just something ungodly impressive about that Genesis version. It came in a gigantic cartridge, like a hilariously oversized cartridge, but like at the same time, you put this Virtua Racing on Genesis against Stunt Race FX for Super Nintendo, and like, goddamn,
yeah,
it's a pretty big difference. But the 32X version of Virtua Racing is still pretty great, and Virtua Racing's a pretty great game, like as far as racers go. And again, that whole getting damn close to arcade perfect on your home console is a pretty neat way to go about it. So that's my last pick. The library for 32X, there's not a lot of great games on it. There's a decent amount of interesting games on it, but like, don't ever consider spending the money on Knuckles Chaotix.
No. Or that fucking Spider-Man game.
Oh my god, what is that, $700 loose these days?
Something like that.
That is just insanity. And like, I've never played it. I cannot imagine it being all that good.
No, for sure not.
What is it even like, Spider-Man 32X?
It's a platformer. It's like the Genesis Spider-Man games. It just looks way better.
More, let's see, who made it? Got Marvel Comics real big on here. Web of Fire. Man, I almost bought this game a couple of times way back in the old days, and like
when it was not $700.
It's one of those things that I regret. I always wanted to pick up, like, try to get a complete run of 32X games, because there's not that many, but holy shit. Yeah, it looks pretty neat, but not $700 neat. And God, Knuckles Chaotix is just not a very good game.
No.
Like, I have it. I beat it on the Pain in the Ass-a-thon with Dean, and no, it's just not a very good game. It's all right at best, but that's the thing. The 32X stuff has become so expensive. It's very similar to the Virtual Boy. Yeah. It's like, man, Sega had some great systems, but the 32X was a real doozy. It was a miserable failure, and geez, as far as I know, it's the only game console that's ever had a public apology for it. Not even Nintendo apologized for the Virtual Boy. The 32X was like, yeah, we're sorry. We shouldn't have done this.
Our bad, guys.
This is a bad idea all around. Just
suck.
Not a good one. But it's a fascinating system. I know I have a stack of them, but...
you have an absurd stack of them.
I do. How many am I up to on this? I don't even remember.
Too many.
If I catalog, it's got to be like 8, 9, I think. Got to check this. Let's see. Did I put my consoles in Game Eye? I think I did. And let's see. 32X. Come on. Come on, phone. You can do it. What order are these in? I think it's alphabetical.
The Order of Ecclesia.
Oh, Castlevania.
See what I did there?
All right, let's see. 32X unit. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 32X units. I have 9 32Xs. And I won't sell them.
No, you better not.
Because they all plug into each other and it's hilarious.
At this point, you better not.
Right, I've held on to them this long.
Well, give him out his favors at John's birthday.
Apparently they go for like $150 a piece. I don't know.
That's
I don't even think
absurd.
but that would involve like cables and stuff. I can't imagine selling them for that much. So no, I it's worth the money to me to have an absurd stack of 32Xs that I can trot out and plug into each other. The tower of 32-bit power right there. All right, I'm done. You done?
Oh, so done. I mean, I love you all so much, but I do not want to talk about the 32X anymore. I do not want to talk about the Jaguar in a month.
Oh, man, that's going to be just as fun. We were even considering combining those, but then, we knew there was going to be way too much to talk about, so.
Because it's us.
It's us. And
we're here for you.
That was a fun top
listener.
half of the episode. Yes, we are here for you, the listener. All right, that's our show. Join us next time when...
Yep.
I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. I feel like I have a note somewhere. I had a good idea for a topic for a show, and I wrote it down, and I just couldn't find it. So I'm sure we'll think of something by next week.
We start recording at 8:30. We will come up with the topic at 8:27 next Monday, like we always do.
Like we always do.
That's right.
We're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, the Geekade Patreon, which helps keep this show running week after week, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. And no, we have not forgotten about our giveaway contest. We're announcing it on the next episode, because we record on Monday, and if we had the winner announced for the episode that's going up this coming Friday, which is when we're actually cutting off entries for it, you would have only had 2 days to enter, and we didn't think that was very fair. So we're leaving it running all week long. On Friday is when we're going to actually pick the winner, and then when we record the following Monday, we'll announce it, and it'll be actually announced on Friday, that next Friday when the episode goes live. So we didn't forget about the contest. It is happening. We just wanted to give everyone a little extra time to catch up on the episode and listen to it and enter. So good luck, everybody.
And you also said the next episode, which now I just have that Snoop Dogg song, Snoop and Dre, and la da 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 da. It's the motherfucking D.O.W. Anyway.
This show's theme song, Square Roots, was written by Banjo Guy Ollie.
Which is not Snoop Dogg.
Which is not Snoop Dogg. But it's written by Banjo Guy Ollie, who just re-recorded his Turrican 2 cover. Oh, God, it's so good.
I thought you were going to say it was written by Banjo Guy Ollie, who is Snoop Dogg and Chase.
Who is, in fact, Snoop Dogg. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making the show listenable for all you folks. And we'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That is it, everybody. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.